Okay, so good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared, and it is January 6th, 2022. First Thursday of 2022, and we got a little bit of a shakeup in the market from our FOMC minutes that were released yesterday. We discussed how this week is all about sort of a changing of the guard. Markets are moving across different sectors. That sector rotation intraday can keep diversified indices products like the SPY healthy in regards to keeping them elevated in their relative pricing. But the concept of rising interest rates and the overall effect that has from a correlated asset perspective to growth and tech stocks can also be a risk for the market. We've seen some of that throughout the past couple of days. And with the FOMC minutes, we certainly saw the market a bit more fearful, pushing lower from an elevated position in regards to our overall posture in the market. And from the SPX perspective, coming into our lower bound of the expected move for the week. Now, as a reminder, this expected move is approximately 62 points, either up or down from the close of Friday. And when you're marking these types of ranges, it's all about probability. The idea that the market, if it is in an efficient state, tends to remain within these bounds. And as the market is getting more expansive, whether it be uncertainty, binary risk, or some unknown factor that the market is trying to price in, we will see things like expansion or contraction of volatility week to week. But on a shorter note, whenever you do see the market come into these bounds, what you often want to refer to is what are they pricing in as this bound starts to get breached or as this range becomes somewhat threatened. Remember that 62 points, that is, of course, for 5 trading sessions. And as we shift into the SPX, you can see that with only 2 trading sessions left, essentially today and tomorrow for this series to close, we're still looking at a $50 expected move due to the fact that the implied volatility has been rising throughout most of yesterday's session. A lot of traders will sort of visualize this in different ways. You'll see things like VIX, which often will have an initial spike, especially on larger drawdowns that we saw yesterday. Now, normally, I would say that the 20 print is a rough inflection for the VIX. Usually, things are in a relatively calm, collected, and usually orderly state until we spike through that 20 print. And that's often where the dynamic of the market can change, especially if we remain above this level for an extended period of time. You'll start to see things like dynamic hedging strategies take effect, where the market essentially can't get out of its own way and will either buy into buying, leading to sort of that gamma exposure to the upside, and then sell into selling, usually in a more correlated downside move in the market. And as we've discussed, this dynamic is based on selling of different index products. For the most part, firms like to use ES futures or just pure derivative type products that reflect the market as a whole. So moving into our last couple of sessions for the week, we want to keep a close eye on whether the market can recover from this area, essentially reclaim this expected move range, or are we starting to push much lower? at which point not only is that dynamic hedging a bit of a downside risk, as the market can simply push much faster and volatility can expand much wider, but additionally, how we trade and how we decide to view things like support and resistance, levels that need to be tested, or particular intraday VPOCs needing to be reclaimed, or even something as simple as high to low inside of our previous trading range as the market is coming back into this area, potentially simply testing the higher bounds. But at this moment, this drop and the precipitation of the drop that occurred is worth considering that there may be a little bit more risk to come in the next couple of sessions. So as we've been getting more information, we also need to refer to the fact that the Santa Claus rally is officially over. It didn't necessarily end yesterday. You would mark the end of the rally by the close of Tuesday's session. But to throw a little lightheartedness into some of the volatility we're seeing in the market, I wanted to look at all four of our different index products: the SPY, the QQQ, the IWM, and the Dow. I'll be using the DIA as our ETF of reference. And I wanted to ask sort of a simple question to everybody attending. Which index do you think had the best performance in the Santa Claus rally? And I'll obviously give you all a couple of seconds to respond. You can just be thinking about it sort of quietly to yourself, but as a bit of a lighthearted exercise, without looking at your chart, who do you think won? Do you think it was tech, the Nasdaq specifically? Was it the SPY with that diversified portfolio? Did value win out with the Dow? Or the IWM was the risk inside of the small caps? So we're getting a couple of answers. Looks like a lot of people are kind of shooting off the Dow, maybe a few people thinking tech, and maybe one or two with the IWM. Not too many SPYs. So SPY is not clearly our overall winner, but let's take a look. And remember, I'm marking the open of the December 27th session. So the start of the rally after the holiday session. And then I am marking the close of Tuesday's session, which is roughly that 7-day period of performance. Essentially, if you had bought at the open, closed a position at the close, what sort of percentage return would you have had? Well, the S&P did a pretty good job. Our average Santa Claus rally inside of the past 20 or so years has been about 1.3%. And while the market did have a strong start, we certainly sort of balanced ourselves out near this upper bound. We ended up closing at about 1.17%. For those thinking the Nasdaq, this one did not come out as well as I wanted it to. But let's just move it down here and put this arrow a little bit more like this. So without ruining the surprise too much, obviously the Nasdaq actually had a negative performance inside of the Santa Claus rally. So for those choosing tech, we're seeing some of the pressure inside of rising interest rates that took hold on the Tuesday session with a pretty large downside move that, of course, had continuation on yesterday's session. And more specifically, the Nasdaq has not made new all-time highs. So it's been struggling at what is essentially our spike high back in mid-November. So negative performance for the Qs. How about small caps? And once again, looks like my markings here are pretty poor, but small caps definitely not beating out the SPY, but seeing some percentage gains. We're talking about 0.38%. And that is, of course, amidst a pretty choppy overall rally session. We saw a bit of an uptick on the first session of 2022. And then, of course, a sort of pivot or a slight reversal with plenty of follow through on yesterday's session back down through our trading range. And last but not least, our Dow. So congrats to those who chose the Dow, essentially more of the value, I would say some economic recovery type plays. And obviously the weightings in there are still very much affected by tech. But when you're looking at the Dow 30, you're talking about things with high stock pricing relative to where the weighting of this index occurs. And with the DIA, we closed the Santa Claus rally with 2.17% approximately. Not only has this so far been a confirmed bull flag near all-time highs, but even though the market did have a bit of a reversal yesterday, we haven't quite given up the entirety of that bull flag structure, whereas a lot of other markets are seeing more downside and sort of a negation of that pattern. So a little bit of fun into our Thursday session. Obviously, market started off fairly strong. Yesterday's session has put a bit of a wrench in things. And for the most part, it goes back to our initial discussion that we had on Monday, which is the interest rates, especially the 10-year, are rising. And that is putting a lot of pressure on pretty much every growth, tech, and overall high multiple stock in this market, with yesterday sort of a chink in the armor in regards to all markets selling at the same time. That correlated sell-off with, of course, some areas more protected than others. We also have our 10-year Treasury yield with a so far confirmed trading range breakout. We're obviously going to see how much follow through this initial sign of strength has, as it is a full recovery from low to high in our trading range. And as the TLT product gets into our first downside target, these were the swing lows that marked the bottom side of our trend line. This is where markets tend to go whenever you lose things like trading range support, trend line support, and high bearish volume in this case to facilitate a move lower. As we're getting into these lower bounds, we are essentially home at this point, not trying to really exactly pick the level here on this product. But overall, the market has corrected, especially with bonds moving very quickly, and that pressure finally felt by the Nasdaq on yesterday's session. More specifically, key underlyings in the Nasdaq, and this is where a lot of concentrated risk in this market continues to remain and ultimately can provide the pressure for a larger correction. When you think about the type of market cap weighting that a stock like Alphabet has, more specifically, the fact that there is more than one of these reminiscing or existing inside of our Nasdaq and our SPY. These are stocks that if they crack, they break down. That pressure and the speed of that drawdown is what can facilitate larger sell swings. We already looked at Microsoft. This one may be coming to a bit of a short-term bounce. We're getting into essentially a breakaway gap structure. We're getting into some channel support based on relative swing lows. But when we're looking session to session, this is where risk has been concentrated for bearish pressure, for downside in the market. And when you combine all this with the idea that we're starting to lose a little bit of our upside in other stronger stocks, Apple has essentially reversed. We had a bull flag, lots of conviction on the first day. That setup has turned around. And what that means is the risk to this pattern is not that we go mid-range, it is that we reverse the entire structure. It is the idea that once you lose the sentiment, you often return to where the shift first occurred, which is often swing lows or things like previous support structures. That has been seen in Microsoft. It's a bit of a warning for Apple, which has room to the downside. And it is also taking effect in other key underlines, ones that have pushed this market higher, but are seeing resistance. You know, over the past couple of sessions that we've been looking at Tesla very closely. It's a great day trading, intraday swing, and overall just a great range-bound type stock for high and low trading and for breakouts. But if I'm looking over the past couple of sessions, more specifically, if I mark things like the close and the open, this area was representing itself as a runaway gap structure. It broke from a bull flag, and it also did it against a sell candle, which provided lots of pressure on the first session into our initial topside resistance. You know, I have these areas marked. It's hard to be precise with Tesla, but there are some key levels to keep in mind. In the larger context here, if we start to test this bound, then this gap sentiment changes. It turns into an exhaustion gap. Market is essentially over in regards to the move, and we want to respect these highs as they have once again marked a resistance point for the stock. We have turned the sentiment over, and once again, we often will return to where the move started, either the lowest structured point or the beginning of the momentum breakaway. So it is a sign of risk. Obviously, you can play this short term with more conservative targets. You can play this longer in regards to thinking there might be more downside to come. And obviously, how you approach this is all based on your risk tolerance. You may see this as simply another buying opportunity, which means you should probably be waiting for where the market tends to bounce. And that's, of course, near these trendline supports. We're definitely not there yet, so understand that buying the dip here is a fairly risky endeavor because we aren't technically where the market bounces. Additionally, understand that if we continue to sell, that the trend line tends to be the area where the market tends to gravitate. We've seen it with our trading range before. This, of course, formed over multiple months. And in the shorter context of all of this structure, we look at, for example, a 90-day to get all of this trading range. What that would look like is a move away from VPOC. Right now, we are central in regards to the highest value zone of our trading range. The market failed to move higher outside of our trading range, and we have fallen back to value. This is the ebb and flow of pretty much any market. Can sentiment be strong enough and demand facilitate higher value, or does a correction move us back to previous high value zones where the market was stable, balanced, or overall high transaction in regards to volume? Once again, the best risk to reward in regards to buying the dip is not necessarily to buy at value. That is sort of a neutral area for trading ranges and for the market as a whole. The edge is roughly 50-50 in either direction. Where markets gain edge is when you move from value, either to the top side or the bottom side, and you either are playing these directional transitions, either mid to low, mid to high, and then of course the eventual oversold or correction being completed, the signal that the market is not at value anymore. It is too extreme in one direction. And we look for those signals with previous support, resistance, trend lines, etc., etc. So keep all this in mind. This is a time to not necessarily get aggressive. It is a time to reconsider where your risk is in your portfolio. The market gave us a bit of a shakeup yesterday. We'll see how much this resolves over the next couple of days. We're sort of testing the lower bounds of our expected move, of our obviously our top side of our trading range. If this is another buy the dip opportunity, then what we want to see is that signal near some intermediate or dynamic supports. The 50 period is sort of the first place to look. Isn't perfect, but it does manage risk once you have a signal of reversal. You also want to be careful to step in front of it without the right signal. There was a note here in regards to that first recovery on the Qs that was quickly sold into. And because of this breakdown, this is one of our probably our most negative closes below the 50 in quite a while. Let's see how far tech has to go before truly finding another low. And what does that low provide for opportunity back to the upside? Whether it be sort of a muted bounce, a lackluster recovery, or a new trading range to even evaluate as we potentially sell as low as the 200-day moving average. This is something we haven't seen in pretty much an entire year. So this type of correction, the type of channel support that the Nasdaq continues to hold, and what does this look like? What does this particular correction stall at, and how, or what stocks will drive this correction? I believe is the last part. So as we conclude the last engineering the market for this week, wanted to offer a couple of minutes for any questions that y'all may have. It can be a particular stock, clarification, or overall just looking at something of interest. I'll open it up to the BBT chat initially, and then I'll start with any questions that have occurred in the YouTube chat. MU, obviously hit by some of the selling pressure yesterday. This is an area of interest for MU. It's pretty much our swing high. The first expansion tends to fail, but we need to represent the idea that MU essentially has done a full recovery. So one of the things to watch out for is something as simple as a back test of our breakout. This was a nice runaway. We pulled back. Our dynamic 20 starting to come in. This is not perfect, but it is an area of interest. And if there is a more aggressive trend line or moving average that is representing price better, I would say this is our most aggressive area for a buy. Now, for now, I think you want to stay away from what is probably more profit taking at swing highs. And then that cup and handle, that's going to form on likely more longer time frames. So you want to be looking to see where are maybe some swing lows back on the weekly for the cup and handle to form, along with our more recent swing highs from the breakout. Energy sector continues to be sensitive to rising interest rates. We have, once again, our first test of previous swing highs. This is a double top, so it is not surprising to see a bit of a failed breakout initially, but understand we're coming from low to high. This is our signal, aggression, conservative bull flag pattern with risk below the bull flag. You don't want to step in at a fresh breakout when you've gone from a full range transition. The risk to reward typically doesn't make sense. So look for this market to hold near the highs and simply try and get out of this area, or look for something like a short-term trend that is probably already formed and whether it is still holding. We're likely going to form some range, possibly pull back. Same idea, sort of the cup and handle to get out of this area. But try not to step in at swing highs and understand that the first test can often fail. Any thoughts on Bitcoin right now? Bitcoin is testing 42,000. It's not going to be as obvious on the futures chart, but if you look at the asset class compared to the US dollar, we are testing 42,000 after a failed expansion of previous highs. This is the liquidation low. The first high that is made is often the top of our trading range. You do not want to buy into this first test. Same concept, because your risk reward is poor. And the risk to the downside is that you do a full range transition back to the lows. There's a bit of a short-term play to get to this top side, but it looks exactly like it did back in the May bounce. From 30 to 41, this failed. We came all the way to our low. So you need to understand that the structure here is very similar, and the risk to reward model matches what has occurred back in May. So I'm gonna look at YouTube really quickly. Can you discuss briefly the equation you use to calculate the implied move for the SPX from the front month options? The calculation is done by this platform. So technically I'm not doing any initial calculation except for actually pricing the close of Friday and trying to see what the high and low prints are from that area. So for example, if I were looking out into next week, if I wanted to sort of earmark the 14th, so next Friday, I would have to wait first for the Friday close. I would look at the 14 Jan series once the market is closed on the weekend, and I would see what this expected move is. This is also done by taking at the money straddles, which is a rough estimation of this price. So for example, the S&P 4,700, we're looking at adding this to for our straddle. It's about 45, we're pricing 48. Once again, this is more of an estimation. This is based on an aggregate pricing. So technically not a calculation that I'm using. I'm just matching where the close is and what those high and low prices tend to be. Why stocks like Microsoft are also correcting, which has good cash flow and good dividend history. You're trying to manage a fundamental argument inside of what is a correlated sell-off on yesterday's session. Now, with rising interest rates, the market is trying to reprice some of the higher multiple names. Microsoft is not necessarily excluded from that list. It may still be a fundamentally strong company, which is what your argument is overall as to why is it correcting. But in the shorter term time frames, there are other dynamics. And that, of course, is going to be seen with very fast rising interest rates. Markets are fearful initially. That usually leads to opportunity in the right sectors and the right stocks. Can you check Tesla, please? We looked at Tesla. I'm going to go ahead and avoid that one since we checked that chart already. From past week IV, what is the lowest price target of SPX this week? The lowest price target that I marked for the option side is 47.04, which we pushed into yesterday's session. All right, I've got some Riley chinchillas here, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it a session. Thanks all for joining. See y'all next week. Trade safe over the next couple of sessions. Keep your risk in check. Look to hedge if necessary, and ultimately respect the volatility of the market because it is changing. So stay tuned for pre-market prep, and we'll talk more then.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, brother. I'm doing well.
Oh,
How are
you
you?
know what? I can't hear you. It's the reason why I can't hear you.
Yeah,
I
that's a
need
good one, brother.
I need these. Good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, man?
Doing all right, man. Can't complain. All right, guys. Good morning to y'all. What an interesting day we had yesterday. Let's get into all that fun right now, starting with our gappers list from yesterday. That is a spy chart there. Norm will get into that right after this. Let's take a look at Neo, guys. Neo, 5 minute yesterday. Here we go. Again, a lot of stocks, especially the tech stuff, dropping a lot. Right. I know the whole spy's been dropping, but again, another drop yesterday on a lot of these tickers that we've been watching here. Here's Neo, beautiful trading day yesterday, beautiful towards the afternoon as well. With again just a nice sell off here. Baba was very strong early on, guys. I mean, this thing was incredible. Andrew and many of you guys took advantage of this trade here. Unfortunately, I missed it. Norm, you called this out. I did not have it on my list. I remember you called it being a possible
Yeah,
good one for today. And this goes down, guys, to trading for a while, right? No, you've been trading for a long time now. And if you see this pre-market action, you say, well, this is not anything good. But we you had something on this, say, you know what, this is going to be a good one for today, and it sure was. Nice little
yeah,
pop here, beautiful breakout. I mean, just very, very strong. I believe this thing will have not sold off if it was not for the overall market selling off towards the end of the day. But yeah, very strong stock yesterday. PFE here, I don't know why I had this on my list. I wasn't paying attention to it anyways. It was just pure chop, guys. I mean, look at this here. It's just nothing happening there. Here we have AMD again, more of the selling that was happening yesterday. AMD very early on, beautiful short opportunities here. BYD as well, just again selling down here. Even after positive news, it didn't matter, right? That they're selling down here yesterday, and then BA was pure chop, not really much going on until later parts of the afternoon, which by then, if you're looking at the SPY, there was just a whole lot of things that you could have played out in the afternoon part. Let's get to that now. We'll bring that SPY chart back up.
yeah, man. I mentioned it yesterday. I was worried about those FOMC minutes, which the policy decision was a couple of weeks ago. The minutes of what was discussed in those 2 day meetings prior to policy announcements is released 2 weeks later. And sure enough, spooked the market, and it was a hell of a sell off after that yesterday. So we'll see what the day holds. I was actually a little surprised when I came in to see the gappers list as small as it is this morning. We'll see how it goes. We just had initial jobless claims, continuing claims. I missed those, did not see what was going on there. Trade deficit as well. And then you've got ISM services at 10, along with factory orders, core capital goods. And yeah, so,
Yep, should be a interesting day today for sure after such a sell-off yesterday. Let's take a look at our gappers list. Going to remove what we have here. Control A, Control X gets rid of that. And now we have a clean list. And let me just link in my trade ideas with our platform here. We'll add that link right there. Here we go. And we should be good to go. Let's just double check. Yep, excellent. All right, starting here with BBBY this morning. They are up nicely, 8.3 today. Must be some kind of earnings or news, a stock that
yep.
normally doesn't move, right, Norm? So,
Yeah, they had earnings this morning. Note their high short float, 47% on TI.
mhm.
Not quite that high on FinViz, but um, elevated nonetheless. Had earnings this morning, and the earnings were pretty atrocious compared to estimates. They do have their conference call going on right now. I believe it started 20 minutes ago at 8:15 Eastern. So I think that's a bit of what's caused this to start selling back off. Curious to see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we didn't have audio in the room, or it cut off for a bit. Is it back now? Um, Okay, perfect. All right, excellent. So yeah, guys. So BBY, as no one's mentioned earnings there. We'll see how this goes. Looking really good right now. 4 million shares traded. I think the only time we have BBBY on our list is when there's some type of earnings. Let's take a look here at
This will be
MULN.
top of the list this morning. My
Yeah,
only
yep.
pet peeve on it, it's on an SSR, so it's going to slow down any shorts a hair
Mm-hmm,
because it.
mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yep. This one here, guys. Oh, let's go back here. MULN. Not low flow, but
They're
sitting at
asking
29.
they're asking me to
Yeah.
repeat what I just said. All I was saying was
Yeah.
that the FOMC minutes came out yesterday. I'd mentioned them in the pre-market show yesterday. I was concerned about that. They always come out 2 weeks after the policy announcement. They'll come out with the minutes of what was actually discussed behind closed doors in that meeting and what was behind their thought process for the policy change or not change or just whatever happened. So
Yeah.
that spooked markets. We'll see how it. I was surprised when I came in and the gappers list was as small as it is, but yeah, we've got some
Yeah.
volatility, that's for sure.
Here, guys, MULN this morning, very, very active. Just starting to get going here. I'm gonna put it next to the low flow risky pile because it is moving quite a bit. Let's give it a little room to see what's going on there right now. So again, volume picking
Yeah,
up
just started.
21%. Yeah, so let's give it a little space there, see what it's gonna do today. DKS, I'm not a fan of this one, guys. For intraday trading, it just doesn't do well. So again, I usually don't keep it on my list. Today they're up 5%. Again, just not a great intraday trading stock. WBA this morning. This is Walgreens.
Walgreens boots.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So Walgreens here, Boots is up 3.7, 257,000 right now. Again, data looks great. I don't ever recall trading this one.
They had earnings this morning as well.
Okay, we're gonna put them on here as a possible. Let's see what it does there. JD, JD has not, for me, it has not been great. I mean, yesterday I can't give him too much credit. Everything dropped yesterday, but for the most part, it hasn't been great for me. So today they're up 3.6, 191,000. Pre-market action usually looks like this all the time now. You're not getting a great pre-market action. The action usually starts after the bell. I'll throw them on here. I'm definitely going to be looking at Baba as well after yesterday. Again, ending up really strong. Just one of the few stocks that actually was able to, keep up a nice green day yesterday. So this morning, up 2.3. We'll see where that goes. Maybe a possible for right now. NKLA here, we are up 3.2, 435. No, I don't see anything great on this one. Futu today. FUTU this morning. Not a whole lot going on. Pretty quiet. We'll move on down. We have a lot to go through here. Oxy. Oxy could be interesting. Maybe a possible today. We'll put a possible on Oxy here. We'll come back to that. Baba is on our list. We looked at that already. Again, I like the daily on this. I like how strong it was yesterday. And since we sold down so much towards the end of the day, right? Maybe this could be a possibility for a continuation here. Kind of get back to yesterday's highs. We'll see where that goes. D-Dog this morning, not a great intraday trading stock. Very light on volume, guys. So usually pops up on our list. We've seen this plenty of times here. I usually don't keep it on my list as far as a watch list. BP, foreign stock. It's something going on with the oil. Stock seems to be moving quite a bit this morning. Starting with
oil
Oxy.
strong this morning despite the rest of the market pulling back. So
Okay, so Oxy will be the one I'll look at. Oxy tends to trade the cleanest for me. You could look at your favorite ones. There are a couple out there. There's also some ETFs you can look at that represent oil companies. You could do that also. CLF this morning. What is this one? Cleveland
Cliffs.
Yeah, we've seen this quite a bit. I usually don't keep it on the list on there. So all right, that is our gappers list this morning. Gapping down, that is our gap up list. Gapping down, we have BLI, which is down a nice 28% this morning. Not a great pre-market action. It is on short selling restriction. We do have shares for short. I love the drop here. I don't love the volume this stock gets on a regular basis. Even yesterday, after such a nice drop here, right? We lost some ground. Less than 1 million shares traded. So that type of volume is just no good. And you can see here, this is yesterday's open, right? This is at the market open. Look how bad these candles are. It sold off all day, but you're not getting no price action for what I like to usually trade, right? And then a nasty sell-off. Look at after hours, man. Nasty sell-off there from 16 to almost 11 where the price action is hanging out right now. So I don't expect much out of this one, guys, to be honest. So although the numbers look great, I don't like what I'm seeing so far. STRN down 12%, 738,000. This could be okay. A very high short flow interest on TI, 42% there. Pre-market action is all right on this one. we'll have to come back to this. What's the float on this? Oh, 9 million shares flow. See, that volume price action's got to get a little bit better for that type of float. 9.7. Yeah, let's see what happens. CNM, I don't think we ever seen this one before, maybe for good reasons, because volume here is just horrible daily as well. Skip on to IonQ, which I think I have never traded. IonQ down 2.6. Excuse me, guys. Let me mute this over here. IonQ
Did you save the
down.
princess?
Mario. Oh man, IonQ here down at 2.6 right now, 266. Yeah, so we'll see what's happening there. I'm not a big fan of it, but we can take a second look at it. All right, that is what we have on both fields. SONY popping up here. No. Is this actual Sony? Yes, Sony. Yeah, Sony's.
Don't. They had news
Yeah.
about EVs and a potential different segment. You can't pick a worse trading stock.
Yeah, this is a pretty bad one. Norm, anything you like this morning?
I'm still looking, man. I think BBBY will be top of the list this morning for sure.
Okay, excellent. Let's go ahead and take a look here at we do have Apple. I want to take a look at Apple. I know that's been fun to watch, so I'm going to add Apple to the list here. I'm also going to add AMD. AMD was good yesterday as well. Again, a lot of these tech companies dropping, so I do want to have AMD on my list. If you guys were going to mention that, I'm taking your shine. Apologies, but these two very good with what's going on lately. All right, let's take a look here what you guys have this morning, starting with who do we have? MULN. Yeah, we have that one. This is on here already. It's just start to get volume. Let's give it a little room, see what's actually going to happen here. Right now, it's not looking good though, right? You had this one spike, and now you're slamming back down here. I don't like that, especially for, it's not a low flow stock, but it's on the lower side. It's the 29 million. Let's see if that gets any better there. NVIDIA, yes, I have AMD, I have Apple. NVIDIA is another one too that has been getting a little bit of a hit lately, right? Almost the entire tech sector has been getting a bit of a hit here. NVIDIA daily though, looking very nice, guys. We're sitting right here at this area of support. So their daily looks almost the cleanest out of AMD and probably, well, no, Apple's daily is very clean actually. But NVIDIA's got a nice daily as well. I'm going to put as a possible. I just don't want to have all tech stuff on the list this morning. So thank you, Daryl. Phil, you're only giving us one this morning. I feel like you're holding out, but we will take a look at it.
He's keeping his list secret.
Yes, he is. CCL this morning, 348,000. It'll be interesting to see how the whole travel companies and sector does. CCL yesterday, again, like a lot of stocks just selling down nicely. Yeah, we can take a look at a CCL. Are the airlines doing anything today? Just thinking about CCL, American Airlines. No, not really. They're pretty quiet. The banks. I see you guys throwing out Bank of America. Let's take a look at the banks this morning. I know that BAC. What do we have here? Let's make sure both of these are linked correctly. Okay, good. I know they've been making a lot of noise the last couple of days. West Fargo's here. See, yesterday wasn't great though. And you had a sell-off here, which a lot of stuff sold off, but this is not really great trading. We saw an amazing day. This was Tuesday, right? Tuesday, they all had a great day, but yesterday wasn't great for them. So I don't know what to expect today. Their daily looks like it wants to get going here and continue, but I don't see enough to add on my list. Ford has been making some pretty good noise. Yesterday was another great opportunity there, guys, towards the top. Nice, beautiful breakout, and then obviously the sell-off that we had with this overall SPY. But overall, Ford has been actually pretty decent. I want to see what it does today. We'll see. Tons of volume. 5 million again. 5 million is like 200,000, 100,000 on any other stock, right? For Ford, it's not a lot of volume. So don't think that's, oh my God, it's out of this world. It's really not. True. But the last 2 days, this right here, 311, yes, that's significant. And right here, 234, that's significant, right? But on a regular basis, 64 to 100 is pretty normal. PFE, oh wait, I skipped on SQ. I'm not a great trader of SQ, but man, look at SQ's daily here. They're getting slammed. I mean, they've been getting slammed, but they're finding no ground of support whatsoever, especially the last 2 days. What's going on with them? Why do you know, Norm? I haven't looked into why they're taking such a bloodbath the last 3 months here, but man, they're
Primarily
not having
Bitcoin, I
fun.
think.
Right, because they are getting involved. They did get involved with Bitcoin.
Yeah,
That's right. That's
they've
right.
got exposure there.
Yep. So that is not treating them well. Light on volume, which doesn't mean much. SQ can still put in a very good intraday trade here, trading day. So yeah, let's look at SQ, guys. So they're not having fun. Um, all right. Perfect. Let's stop over here, guys. I think we had a pretty good list. Dan, Van, you gave us DE. DE. No, 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 no. DE is no good, man. It's what's this?
It's tough at deer. It's tough to trade that. Sometimes if there's an infrastructure bill that comes up, or if they have earnings, you might
Mhm.
get a good trade on it. But just on a general day,
Yeah,
I don't know
and
what news they had yesterday. I didn't look at it.
I mean, it
They
just
had a
looks like
big daily candle, but
yeah, yeah. Yesterday had a big daily candle. The day before as well, huge breakout here. I'm always concerned when I see something like this, like 353, 370, and we're doing this with only 3 million shares traded, right? So it's very thin when it's making those type of moves. Like compared to like an Nvidia, you do that move, you're gonna have some good volume, a good price action. For those that are new to the show, this is what we mean, right? Look at the last two trading days on the volume, you can see that these candles are not as well connected, right? I mean, you can see that, well, except here, but you can see the volume is
yeah,
so light. So you could be on a good trade with some decent shares, and you can get a pullback that can be $2. And that's just, I couldn't only imagine the spread too. The spread's got to be pretty bad. Usually that's what happens. So just be careful, very careful. Not saying that you cannot trade it, but there's a different style you have to use on something like that, and you got to really be careful with the number of shares. Um, Heading over to YouTube, guys. What do you guys like this morning? I saw PFE on both chats here. PFE. I mean, did you guys see how choppy this was yesterday? With so many great trading
super
stocks.
chop.
I mean, look at this. Even at the market sell-off, just didn't do anything. This is the reason PFE is not great. I don't know why I kept it on my list. BBBY comments. Yeah, we have BBBY. Probably the top of the list this morning, man. Looking
Yeah,
really good. They have a catalyst. They're strong. Great volume, up 9.7. Yeah, this is gonna trade very well today. I hope so. I hope so. I got
should.
my eyes on that one. It should. Right. Right. Um, Heading on down. DJ FRLN. What is this? FRLN. Lower price stock here starting to get going. 22 million shares. What's the float on this? FRLN. Float sitting at 33. So not a low float stock. Um, you know, these I'm gonna do my best to try to explain this, but these stocks that are lower priced like this and have insane volume and are not really low flow stocks are very difficult to trade. You're gonna get a lot of volume. The price action is funky at times. The level two gets packed with tons of orders. So if you like to read the level two, that could be difficult as well because it's just orders all over the place, right? I'm not a fan of these, to be honest. I'd rather watch something like this with that type of volume on a low flow stock because you're gonna get some kind of movement that you can actually read, right? So I'm not sure if I'm doing the best explanation on that, but I don't like the way this one is looking today, DJ. So I'm gonna keep it off my list. PLTR this morning, and they usually end up just doing just that, right? They end up going up and just chopping around. You're not gonna get a whole lot of movement from what we've seen in the past. That could be the difference on that one, but I highly doubt you're going to get a good price action at the market open. PLTR this morning, a rough day yesterday, right now, 489. Pre-market's okay, could be better. Um, I don't know. I think we have better trading stocks this morning. Apple, AMD, four not so much. SQ definitely better this morning. Oxy has potential, and obviously BBBY. I don't see PLTR beating any of the stuff in the main list, but maybe a good possible. Maybe a good possible. Banks are moving. Are they? I thought I muted this. There we go. Banks are moving. Uh, banks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess
It's your
they are.
burner phones going off.
Yeah, right. They got all kinds of stuff going off over here. DE, CFX. No, ain't this a ETF? What is CFX? No, it's not. But I don't know what this is. I mean, it's it has no volume. This is not even this pre-market. I thought this was the pre-market now. It has no volume
It
whatsoever,
hasn't
guys.
had not a single
Yeah.
share.
So I confuse this for the pre-market action. That this is last night's yesterday's action. So yeah, I don't see a whole lot going on there. All right, guys, one more BA. We'll get to announcements. We'll see what's happening on our community events. BA this morning. Yeah, you can watch BA. Didn't get a whole lot of volume yesterday neither in the pre-market, but it did sell off pretty nice yesterday as well. So BA is another one that can have some potential. We'll add it on here this morning. It's going to be an interesting day. There's a lot you could watch today.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be interesting. All right, guys, let's get to our community events here, and we'll come back and fine-tune this list.
All right. It is Thursday. So John's breakout trading webinar should be posted. And then next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m., we're going to talk about Ed. He uses an options flow scanner, which is unique to his room and Bear Bull Traders. It's something we don't use in the main room very much. Sometimes we'll talk about it. We do get the Benzinga squawk that they'll talk about sweeps and such. But next Tuesday, 8 p.m., he'll be talking about how he uses his options flow scanner. Then last night we had Dr. Kenneth Reed talking about matchers and mismatchers, which is trend traders versus range traders. Very interesting. Should be posted in just a little bit today. The next week, 5 p.m. Eastern. Note the special time because of her time zone. Cradle will be talking about how to think and trade like a professional athlete to gain a mental edge in the markets. If you have not, be sure to check out our free web-based trading simulator, replay trading simulator. Go to stocktradingsimulator.com. Doesn't cost anything. Don't have to download any kind of app or anything like that. Also, at that bottom right, you can put your email address in. We won't spam you or sell your information or sell your email address. That'll just get you homework assignments, a couple of them a week from Simon and Eamon, what to try out in the replay. If you have not been in the chat, you're watching on YouTube, you'd like to give the room a try, you can go to bearbulltraders.com. Right there on the homepage, just scroll down about halfway and you'll see that test drive now. Click that. You can use the promo code PREMARKET24. It'll get you a discount off the 7-day trial. That is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. It bills you one time. It does not recur, will not bill you again. You actively have to go choose another membership type if you'd like to continue on.
All right. Thank you, Norm. Appreciate that. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's look at this list. Before we do that, guys, just take a quick second over on YouTube and hit that thumbs up. We're sitting at 81 likes. We'd love to get above 100 if we can. Appreciate your support very, very much as we do this live streaming show here. So thank you for that. Guys, BBBY, probably one of the best stocks on our list this morning. Really like what I'm seeing here. Right now, we're stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. But if we can break out of that, we have our low of our pre-market all the way down here, which I don't think we'll probably be visiting anytime soon because this thing does look like it wants to pop up here at 1188. Above this range, right? The highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, which, by the way, if you look at the daily, you can see how great that support and resistance is, right? Look how many days using that as support there. That is exactly your high of your pre-market at 1548. Towards the bottom here, guys, you can see also this level here, which is the highs from yesterday. You could see that here as well, using great support there. So a lot of confirmation on these daily on these highs and lows from the last 2 trading days off the daily. 1633, another area where you see a lot of struggles getting above that. And then slightly above that here, what do we see? We see around 1746 looks decent. 1746 has a couple of touches there. Nothing like a 1633, a 1550, or even a 1475 where we're sitting at right now. There's just a whole bunch of days slamming against those levels there. So should be good. Areas of support and resistance this morning for BY. Here is Oxy, guys. Pretty quiet right now, but that's typical Oxy. They don't tend to do a whole lot in the pre-market unless, there's something very big and significant going on. High of the pre-market, 32.99. Towards the bottom, plenty of levels here, guys. Previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. And in here, it gets messy. Let's see, do we find something good in here? Might just be 30. Yeah, 33, 37 looks decent. 31 is going to be a whole dollar number. You want to mark that down as well. Usually plays an important part here on some of these tickers. And then towards the top, if we can break out of here, we got a little bit of a mess here, but 35.03 is decent, and 37.71, of course, is good up here. So you got 34. 34 is the big level here, guys. You can see how many touches we have around there. How many days closing, opening, right around that 34. That just signifies in the past those were previous day close lines, right? That were set up there. So a lot of stuff happening there. The last 2 days, that has been the highs for the last 2 days as well. That 33.70 areas, right? So good level there on Oxy for sure. Here's Apple, guys. Apple last 2 days selling down with a lot of the tech companies. 172.81 is the low of the pre-market there. That is also showing a lot of support there in the past, in the most recent past. 167.73, also another area here where we had a nice little bounce before we went on this beautiful run towards all-time highs, right? So that's pretty good there. 163.73. Right now, guys, looking really good. Volume is great on Apple. I mean, 2.6 million. That's a lot of volume there. The last 2 days in the red here. Let's see what it does today. I think it'll be a good day today for them. Not a good day as far as it being positive, a good day as far as movement, hopefully. Here's AMD, same situation with a lot of tech companies. NVIDIA looks the same as well with the last 2 days sell-off here. Towards the bottom, we do have 130.79, low of the pre-market, sitting at 134.28. So we'll slam a level there as well. And I think you're pretty much set, guys. I mean, you're stuck with around all these levels from the last 2 days. I think you're good to go when it comes to AMD here. So we'll see. We also be prepared that we might just get into some chop here, right? The last 2 days we sold off nicely, had a nice run towards the downside. Now a lot of these companies like AMD, like NVIDIA, are hitting this area of support, right? That we found support in the past. We'll have to see how the overall market does here. But look at NVIDIA, same thing. You're hitting an area of support here where we had a nice little run a couple of weeks ago. Let's see what's going to happen here, right? I highly doubt you're going to get another big sell-off like the last 2 days. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll have to see. Here's Ford, guys. Again, Ford been making a lot of noise the last 3 days, right? 3 days had some good trading here. Are we going to get back into the regular 20 cents trading, or are we going to continue on this madness of 50 cents plus moves on Ford? So this has been really good on day trades Ford lately. So some of you guys have had amazing trades. You probably can afford a Ford by now. So good job there. 23.50 down here is a good level. And then after you mark that down, you're pretty much set, guys. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You do not need to add anything else. We'll see what Ford does today, again, after some really good days here. SQ, guys, continues to just plummet here. They're down to 2.1 this morning. Low of the pre-market, 140.20. So I'm going to slam a level there towards the top, guys. Just again, everything is already done for you here. Previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. I mean, you do not need to really add anything else towards the top, guys. You're pretty set there. Now, if we were to lose this 140, when was the last time we were here in SQ? It's been a while. Let's go back. Let's see here. Go back. I'm going to zoom in right in this area here. Looks like 2020. July, August time frame, right? So it's been a while, and we have some decent support here when we were hanging around this 140 area. Below that great area of support here, guys, is 134. So the only thing I'm going to put down here is 134.31. You can see here great area of resistance that then later became support, and then from there we really ran up. Haven't been down here in quite some time. You know what? The stock has been so weak. Let's get another level since we're already down here or back here. Let's get another level here that might be decent. 129 looks okay. Towards the bottom here, a lot of touches over around 121.76. And obviously, you want to look at the whole dollars, right? So at 125, right in the middle there. So we are set there on SQ, guys. Again, let's see where this goes. Volume is not great, but they typically don't put in a great pre-market activity. So don't put too much weight on that pre-market action just yet. The daily, though, does look pretty good on SQ here. All right, guys, anything else that we might have missed? We'll wait for the moderators to throw our list out here. So far, we are looking okay. Secondary list, Baba is starting to pick up here, guys. Volume is looking decent. Baba might be a good one to move up here. Yeah, Baba, you know what? Let's do levels for Baba, which is not going to be difficult. Price action right now, rise slightly above, below the high of the pre-market over at 124.60. You got the highs from yesterday, had a beautiful run yesterday, very early on too. If you look at the daily, it took off right out of the gates. 129.52, another level up here. And then over here as well, 134.26. Towards the bottom, guys, plenty. Do not need to add anything else down there. So you're pretty much set as far as that for BABA. I might move BABA up, maybe replace maybe Ford. I think Ford might just chill out today. We'll see. AMD, Apple. Maybe I'll move AMD down. Now, I'll have Apple here. We can always think about Apple and all the tech stuff. AMD, Nvidia, MU. By the way, what's going on there? Pretty quiet. MU has not been moving as much besides the sell-off yesterday, which again, we won't look too much credit on that. But yeah, MU has been actually no, it's been okay. It's been okay. Nothing like AMD and Apple though. WBA. You know what? I'm not a fan of this one. I'm gonna remove it. Let's get rid of that. JD this morning. I don't see. I'm gonna keep it on here for now. IonQ, Nvidia is good. You could replace that for AMD if you like. CCL starting to move nicely here. CCL is good too. PLTR pushing volume around, but nothing exciting. BA, yeah, I think we have a decent list. We'll have to see. Things could change as we get close to that market open. Again, BBBY, BABA, I'm definitely probably going to move up as well. All right, moderators lineup coming up here, guys. Let's see what we have here on deck. As I am doing this, please hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. How many likes do we have? 157. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. We were sitting at 80 earlier. It was pretty sad. 157 now. If you haven't hit that button yet, please do so. It helps us out a ton. So let me bring over the moderators lineup, and then we can go over what our mods have this morning. Bring that right over here. And let's start with IPOs for today. None. We haven't had IPOs in a while, Peter. Am I correct there? It seems like it's been forever since we had any IPOs come out. SPAC, we have one there listed. Do I have this? Let me get. Oh, it's only on my screen. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, it's been a few days. All right. List for Peter, AMD, BBY, Apple. Secondary list for WBA and EAR. We'll take a look at EAR because I see a lot of you guys have that on here. Watch list for Jared, BBBY, WBA for earnings, Netflix, Tesla, and BABA. Secondary list, all banks and energy stocks. EAR for fun. So EAR must be a low flow stock. Thor this morning, WBA, BBY, Apple, Microsoft, XLE, I believe that's ETF, Bank of America as well. Dima, she is looking at BBBY, BABA, Apple, and AMD this morning. So let's move this over here and take a look at some of these. Oh, here's Tiffany. Tiffany's coming in with BBBY, BABA, and a WBA. We all have BBBY today. It's just, it looks really good. It looks really good. I expect a lot of people are going to be watching that, especially a lot of retail traders are going to be watching that one today, which is good for us. That's what we need. We need retail traders to be all over that. Let's take a look here. Look at this. Yes, EAR is definitely in play here. Low flow stock. What's the float on this? We are looking at
not really from FinViz. It's 34 million.
Oh yeah, I got 21.
I don't know what.
Yeah,
you got 21. So
it's not that
not
low.
high.
Yeah.
It's definitely not high, but
yeah, but it's not like a 3 or 2, which I would. That's what I was expecting when I saw that type of activity. So yeah, EAR definitely the riskier, lower flow type stock that is in play.
It'll move today. Like one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just deleted the other one by mistake here. MULN. Is it doing anything? No. See, this is MULN. This is garbage now, right? It was fun here, popped up, came back down. Now this is garbage. We'll get rid of it. Unless it comes back up towards that high of the day, it is no fun there. And I had another low flow here that I removed. STRN was another one here, 9.7. Also, no, it's not looking good. Let's get rid of that. EAR takes it today. They are moving very, very well here. Any news on it? Anything that that's making
I'm sure
this?
There is. It just happened the last few minutes. So
yeah, I'm just gonna pop into Ben Sing and see if they have anything here. EAR this morning. Department of Justice confirmed previously announced preference referred to civil division criminal.
Without digging into that a little bit more, I can't really get at the catalyst.
Yeah. So whatever it is, really good news for them. And they are showing that right now here. So yeah, really, really good. All right. KA, how about you? Yeah, that's the one we're looking at right now. Yeah, this is definitely solid pre-market action. Agree. Definitely going to be in play today. So we'll have that on our list. I have it on my risky pile because you got to be careful with that one. So we'll keep that on there for sure. All right, guys. Anything else? Anything else that you guys are watching that has volume, that's moving? Anything with a catalyst that we might have missed that might be major, or any questions you guys might have? We got a little bit of a time here. We got through our list pretty quickly here this morning. And we will be ready to go for the market open. Oxy, yeah, we have Oxy, CVX. CVX, no, CVX. Again, it's just, oh, no, no, don't like that.
That's on oil. Oxy's moving better than the others. So
Yeah, Oxy is the one that tends to trade slightly better. You see BP's on our list as well, right? BP's on here also. There's a few other ones that might come up on our list as we move forward, but Oxy's usually the one that we like. Rivian, I know Rivian. This is it. This stock is like it's like a Roblox, man. It can move very aggressively. So just be careful with it. It's definitely trying to do something right now. Not a whole lot of volume. So just be careful. That's also want to throw out Roblox too. What is Roblox up to? Yeah, man, they almost look very similar, Rivian and Roblox. So yeah, I don't see anything great on Roblox here this morning. Microsoft. For my tech companies, I'm going to have Apple. I have AMD. I have Nvidia. You can look at Microsoft too, right? Very similar story with these things, right? They're all just the last 2 days, especially has been dropping quite a bit here. So you can watch whatever you prefer when it comes to these tech companies. They're all pretty much doing the same thing. Not one has a specific news to them. If they did, trust me, we'll be hearing about it. But they're just moving with the overall tech sector right now. Here is good, Amu. We have that. Microsoft.
Rivian,
Yeah.
Rivian is getting smacked. They got just nailed yesterday on Amazon working with a different company because Amazon's backed them. And then Amazon is working with a different EV company on some stuff. So
Could be interesting today. And this is, man, right? This is recent IPO, so they are below their opening price here. Huge spike and then just slamming down here. That's not fun. Man, if they lose that level again, that is not gonna be a good thing there. This is a 90, what is this, an 89, 950 or so. And it is a short selling restriction. We do have shares for sure. But yeah, let's see what happens there. D-Dog, I saw a couple of you guys throw that back out. The issue with D-Dog, guys, I mean, it's
trades pretty thin and it can be
yeah.
tough.
Yeah. We've seen this one on our list quite a bit, a couple of times, and it could just be a tough trade, man. It really is. Look at it yesterday. Look how choppy this is. Look at these wicks, right? And then although it sells down, it is not a pretty sell down, right? I mean, look at an Apple. That's a beautiful sell down. That is nice. If you want to be on a sell down when the market is selling off the way it did, right? If we look at the SPY quickly, look at the sell off here. Go to your favorite stocks of well-known companies. Apple, AMD, SQ sold off. Even Baba sold off yesterday after being so strong. The market does something like that. You're gonna pull some big names down with you if you have a sell-off like that, right? Like it did right here around, what is this, 1 o'clock or so. So if when you look at I forgot what we were looking at already. What's that ticker? D-Dog?
Which one?
D-Dog, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at D-Dog, and you see this sell-off, I don't give them credit for this. It looks ugly anyways. You could have watched a whole bunch of other stocks, right? Today I don't expect them to do anything great. It's just they're not great intraday trading stock. All right, Eamon coming in with his list: Tesla, Baba, risky, and then potential shorts. Those were potential longs, potential shorts: TLRY and the QS this morning. Eamon likes TLRY. He watches that stock, right? You guys notice he watches that stock all the time. He's on it. He's on it. So yeah, he's got a thing going for this one here, which is nice. SAVA. No volume today. Nothing happening here. So nothing to see on SAVA. Let's take a look at a few more here, and then we'll call it a day, guys. mRNA selling down yesterday. Again, I don't see anything great on this right now, so we'll keep that off the list. PFE was horrible yesterday. Definitely will not be watching that. BBBY, no, it's not down. BBBY is it's just consolidating. No, it's not down. BBY is strong. It's up 10%, right? And after a huge run here in the pre-market, so it's gonna take a break. It's gonna consolidate here, and we'll see what it does. Not saying it's gonna shoot up to the pre-market highs here, but yeah, this is not down. This is really really good here. All right. All right, guys. I think we're pretty much set. SE. No, I don't. I gotta block this ticker from my platform. SE is just horrible. I remember now. This thing is really bad. It is so bad. This is a definitely a no there, guys. It is just a horrible intraday trading stock. So yeah, no fun there. All right, guys, I pretty much said I'll wait for a few more moderators to throw out their list. I will wait to see what Brian is looking at. We know what Andrew's going to do. He's just going to copy Brian's list, so we don't have to think too much on what he's going to be watching this morning. We'll see what Brian brings up here, and who else I missed? I think we got all the mods already. Yep, we're good to go. Peter, anything? Not Peter. Excuse me. Norm, anything you like outside of what we talked about already?
I haven't explored too much. Everything we've talked about, I'm in line with. So
Okay.
I don't need to
Yeah.
search far and wide to that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to have some active scanners too with the action that we had yesterday. So
yeah. My eyes are going to be on this SPY, man. I want to see how the SPY is going to. We might just be choppy at the first start of the hour, so who knows? But I want to see what this is going to do today after such a. I want to say a huge drop. This is not a big drop, right? Because people go crazy saying, "Oh my God, the world is falling apart." It's not falling apart, guys. I mean, look at zoom out a little bit. Look at the bigger picture, right? Look at the run we had here. Okay, we had a look at this run here. We just lost half of this run that we did in a couple of days. It's not the end of the world. And we're slamming up against all-time highs, so you know you're gonna have a little struggle getting above those levels. So yeah, don't go crazy just yet, but it will be interesting today to see where we head from here. That's for sure. All right, 9:13, guys. If you missed it yesterday, we had an amazing webinar by Dr. Kenneth Freed. The recording should be up today, talking about matches and mismatches. Just great information. That recording is going to be available for you in the Education Center. Today is Thursday, so we will have mentorship tonight. A couple of mentorships. We have Ed coming in at I believe it is 4:30, right? 4:30 today. You have Thor coming in at 8 p.m. tonight. So just a whole bunch of stuff happening, guys. Do not miss out on that.
New thing we got going on too, 1 p.m. Eastern, is a Q&A for new traders here in the chat room.
Nice, guys. So don't miss that. Over on YouTube, if you have not joined or checked us out, you can do so. Well, but for $24, you get access to the entire week. You get access to both chat rooms, the main chat, and you get access to Ed's chat as well, which is great for how to grow a small account, different type of trading. Very good for new members as well. So definitely check us out. Guys, thank you so much for joining the pre-market prep. We will see you guys tonight on any of the events or tomorrow morning. We're sitting at 230 likes. If we can get to, would I push too much to 300? Can we do that? We have 427 friends watching. If we can get to 300.
Doesn't look good.
Let's see. Let's see if we get to 300. I'll be too optimistic sometimes. I'll be pushing the envelope, and that also reflects in my trading a little bit. I gotta slow down with that. So yeah, guys, hit yeah, it's not good. 245, excellent. Let's get to 300.
Can we get 8,000 likes?
that would be me on some off the wall stuff. Here's Brian, guys, coming in with his list. Let's bring that in. It is BBBY, Baba, Oxy, JD, and EAR for fun, guys. So remember, EAR is a lower flow stock. Be very careful. Up 85% now. Man, this thing is rocking, guys. So looking very, very good. 273. Oh man, we are right there. 275. Let's get it, guys. Yeah, so EAR looking very, very good this morning. 277. 279. All right, don't make me count by twos, guys. Just get me to 300. Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you all tomorrow. We'll be in the chat, and take care. Trade safe.